Good morning, nation. Salute to everybody in the building and everyone pulling up. I got another fire show lined up for you guys. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and kick this thing off. Here we go. Protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing? My guy, Raider Legions.
What? We on?
Oh, hey! We on. None other than Mr. Chris, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Brain Aubrey, bring out none other than the notorious Mitchell. Yo, salute to everybody already here and pulling up. Welcome to Good Morning Raiders. I am your host. I am Jay Raider. Appreciate everyone rocking with me on this Saturday morning. Really quick, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys head on over and hit the subscribe button on this channel. I appreciate everyone tapping in on this Saturday morning. I got a great show lined up for you guys. A great guest sitting in the back, waiting to go ahead and pull up. So before I go ahead and do that, obviously I got to go ahead and acknowledge the chat. Appreciate my guy Robert Ping in the building. Salute. Shout out to my guy Raider Ryan in the building. Salute to my guy Frank Weber. Appreciate you pulling up. Salute my guy. And then my guy, Raider Ryan. My score prediction is 28-9 Chiefs. Unfortunately, I don't have much faith in our team right now. Gino's going to be scrambling for his life. No Colton, no Brock. Jakobi playing about 50% by choice. Hey, we're going to go ahead and get into it, man. So for sure. But appreciate everyone with the comments. Shout out to my guy, just another DJ in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you tapping in. All right. So let's go ahead and bring out my guest for this morning. You know him from Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, part of the Raider universe, or the Raiderverse, as to say. Shout out to our guy, Simone Raider, the Ooze. Appreciate my guy. But let me go ahead and bring my guy out, the great and powerful Joe Morley in the building. Salute, my guy.
Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? Chiefs weekend.
Chiefs weekend, but how you feeling? We were talking a little bit backstage on that great win last night by the Dodgers. How you feeling about that, man, really quick? I'm going to do a little side note because I know it's Good Morning Raiders, but we'll talk about that real quick.
Oh, I'm feeling good. Like, hey, to go to the World Series again, third time in 4 years, like to be able to win this, like that's going to be awesome. Like, as a Dodger fan, we watched the Giants do this in the early 2010 area, and I was like, I don't want to see it. I want to see our team do this. And finally, hey, and now people are crying, and they want a salary cap, but cry all you want because the Dodgers are winning. So
exactly. So, hey, sorry, but that's how the game goes. So maybe you want to go ahead and put some money in your salary cap, and maybe you'll have kind of the same team.
But hey, when I was a kid, the Yankees did the same thing, and nobody said anything.
Oh
It
yeah,
was just like the norm. And
yes,
now now the Dodgers are doing it, and they're doing it better because they found out how to deferral payments. They found out how, and not only are the Dodgers buying free agents, they're also good at developing talent. So you're getting the homegrown talent with the free agents that they bring in. It's like it's a double whammy, and nobody can compete with their front office, and
yeah,
it's funny.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny, and I mean, I've expressed my opinions on kind of how the Raiders could emulate something similar down in the probably in the future with the way that things are going with ownership and probably the trend is heading kind of towards. We might follow suit, and you might see new faces in that front office. And hey, it worked out for the Dodgers. Look at them now, literally on the way for like a repeat championship, two championships already within the last 5 years, going on for the third, which is crazy. So, hey, sometimes those things work out. So I can't wait to see what happens. But let's
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead and talk about Raider football this morning. Obviously, it is rivalry week, Chiefs rivalry week, of course. But before we go ahead and get into that, obviously we got to go ahead and talk about the win that we got this past Sunday over the Titans, 20-10. The big must needed win. Give us kind of that resurgence, that energy, that spark, a little bit of a spark. I read a couple of things online that that it started to kind of get dark in that locker room, and that win was much needed, and it started to kind of keep hope alive in that locker room, which is great. Raiders now 2-4 for the season. They're kind of into that point, like they're we're not bouncing back quite yet, but we're probably on a cusp to have some more eyebrows raised to see like, okay, can there something really be from this season? But I gotta say, great game by the defense last Sunday. The ball job. I really find something. I really Ashton Jesse doing Ashton. But let me ask you though, how do you feel last week's game? What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways from that game, good and bad?
Well, I mean, you're always happy. A win is a win, right? We don't like I said, we don't apologize for victories that you get in the NFL. It doesn't matter who the team is. Like the Titans they're not a great team. They're a horrible team. But I mean, if we would have lost this game, it would have been worse than anything. And we've been hearing it. Like it's funny that people go, "Oh, you beat the Titans," but if we would have lost the Titans, they would have been like, "Ah, you lost to the Titans." It would have been a whole different thing. We would have been firing people, like you said.
Yeah.
Um, so it's hard to take away stuff from this game, and I want to be positive about it because it was a win. But there's not a lot we could take away. Like our defensive line got 6 sacks. Great, you were supposed to do that. That's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL is Cam Ward, and he was sacked 19 times going into the game. So we better have got to him, right?
Yeah.
Our Ash and Genty, I expected our run game to be better because that was one of the worst defenses, but we didn't get it. But maybe it's because it felt like I felt like they dummied down the offense for Geno Smith. Like they were like, "Hey, we're gonna make this real simple for you, Geno. Find the guy right in front of you. Like when you roll out, guess what? There's gonna be a guy right in front of you. Just throw it to him." And somehow Geno still was able to screw that up, like and still throw a bad interception.
No.
But I feel they dummied it down so much, and they were confident themselves, going, "We can beat the Titans, and it doesn't matter if we beat them 13-10 or whatever. We just got to get through this game to prepare for the Chiefs." And I think they were just trying to build Geno's confidence just a little bit with just easy dink and doinks going, before they play this game.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we saw a very simple offense on Sunday, and that's kind of where Geno lived within that 10 yards, and he really didn't go that much past it. I think he took a couple of shots, but once he did, boom, pick. And I'm like, how do you fuck that up? Like, really? Come on, bro. You're playing such a decent game, and then we had to go ahead and do that turnover. Unfortunately, we were able to go ahead and hold strong, and we were able to win by 10 points. And this is kind of the thing that I was talking about in my post game and kind of throughout the week. It's that we didn't win, we didn't dominate, but we won decisively, and that's kind of what we've been looking for.
Yeah.
And I think if we would have won by like 3, yeah, there have been like a lot of eyebrows. But it's like, really, we barely scraped by like a really poor team, and like, what can you build off? But I mean, this was a decisive win. Literally up until like the fourth quarter, where the defense kind of softened up and they started to go ahead and let some plays go. And then, couple of plays they put, literally a touchdown they put together, and then they were kind of right back in it, right, and a field goal. So again, there's a lot of good takeaways that we can go ahead and build off going into this rivalry week. Obviously, Devin White balling out with that big hit on Cam Ward, and then Tyree literally being able to go ahead and have that situational awareness to pick up the ball and like get us to that 2 yard line. And then after that, I think it was Big Mike who scored that touchdown, or I think it was Genti. I don't remember quite. And we're able to go ahead and capitalize on that red zone turnover. And that's the thing. It's like scoring in the red zone has been so hard, bro. Like I just don't know like how we can really go ahead and turn that around. My thing is always like, hey, give the ball to Genti. Your number one running back, the number 6 overall pick. Like that's your guy. That's the guy you need to be really incorporating in your red zone play. Sometimes we see Chip kind of go away from him a little bit, and that's crazy. It boggles my mind. We finally got Big Mike, and we saw Big Mike playing a big fact, especially with no Brock out. So I see Big Mike having another big game. I see the Aston Jensen show continuing with this, running the ball on the Chiefs. Chiefs not doing so great on their run defense this season so far. So I hope we just continue on that path. But let's go ahead and go and turn over to this rivalry week. Obviously, Devin White had a couple of words to say in regards to the Chiefs. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. I got a clip to go ahead and show everybody here. Let me see. All right. There you go. And shout out to my guy, Raider Resistance. If you don't follow Raider Resistance, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over to Instagram and give my guy a follow. And if you're on X, he's also on X too, so make sure you guys go ahead and give him a follow as well. But here's Devin White when he was asked about KC and the upcoming rivalry game.
Mahomes in the past in the Super Bowl just kind of help heading into this game and for the team too.
Yeah, I mean, for me alone, I ain't scared. I know a lot of people look at him as for what he is. You guy won 3 Super Bowls or whatnot, and obviously, but it's just good to have experience being able to play. And I treat every game like a big game, but going on the road and be able to go in their house when they got a good stadium. And be able to do what we do, so I know I'm gonna be poised, and I have my guys ready to play.
Situation where you're matched up with Kelsey, what's that coverage like? What's that challenge like?
Devin White gonna win. That's all. Devin White gonna win when I'm against him.
There you go. You heard it. Devin White gonna win. I love it. When you hear that, Joe, I mean, what does it tell you? Because obviously he's a new guy to our team. He really doesn't know all too well like what really this rivalry means. Between the Raiders and the Chiefs, I think it's on a little bit different level.
Well, he could talk his shit because he has that ring over the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like he won that game. Like he could talk all that crap. He's done it. Like, but I like when players are confident like this, and it's one thing. But I also it's a double-edged sword because you want your player to be confident and you want them to be like, hey, screw them, we're gonna go in there and beat them. But you also don't want to give bulletin board material to the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce because as a Raider fan, we've seen what happens when we get into the Chiefs' heads and they decide to play with us later on in the game and they do a ring around the rosy play just to screw with us and have fun with us. So Devin White, like I know you're having a good season and I know he's had a good game last week. But our linebackers, let's be honest, haven't been that great in coverage. And now you're talking about maybe you can stick to Travis Kelce now because he's not as fast as he was. But what about Noah Gray? What about all these other guys that they have? I mean, go ahead and talk your shit. But if you're going to talk it, you better back it up. You better back it up on the field this weekend because Devin White did have a good game, but there was a couple of times he missed a tackle in the Titans game or the guy slid right off of him. So I mean, be confident. Be confident. I'll take it. But it's just like, damn it. Like, we want to see a win. We're tired of getting our ass kicked by the Chiefs too. We want our confidence players too. But come on.
Exactly. I agree. We need confidence is key, but you need to go out there and actually put belt to ass and prove it for sure. But really quick, let's gonna go ahead and get into this preview week. Obviously, the injury report came out yesterday, the latest one, and we can go ahead and go over it. And there's a thing that I kind of want to go ahead and bring up with you, Joe, and get your thoughts on. Hang on one second. Let's pull up that injury report. All right, cool. All right, and sure, this tab. All right, cool. Real quick, if you notice here, we got Brock Bowers that's listed as he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, but he practiced yesterday a little bit in limited capacity. And I don't know if you saw this, he did not wear a brace. So no brace for Brock Bowers. He was out there braceless. But right now he's listed as game status doubtful, right? So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know. I doubt he'll play, but that doubtful, it's not an out yet. Dylan Lobby, he's been dealing with the hamstring. He has limited practice. Jakobi, and we're going to get into the Jakobi talk in just a bit. Jakobi did not partake all week up until yesterday, and he was limited practice yesterday. He's questionable at the moment, and a lot of eyebrows are raised because of the whole trade talk situation. It was just crazy how everything kind of was coincidental on how he went into the injury report, and then right after he was, that story or that tweet from Ricky Scoops came out, and then this happened, right? So it's kind of coincidental.
Yeah.
But going down the list, Alex Bachman is questionable with an ankle. Justin Shorter, he played. I guess he had an illness, and then Max Crosby still on that list. I don't know if he practiced it, not listed. So I don't know if he did. I don't think he practiced this week, but I guess he's just at his back. So I'm kind of curious what happened there. Maybe he had a little bit of stinger, a little soreness from the game on Sunday, but he's limited. But most likely, you already know Max. He's going to go ahead and play. On the Kansas City Chiefs side, Josh Simmons, their tackle, I think this is probably the biggest one. He's out for this game coming up, and there's like a lot of weird shit going on behind that too. I don't know if you heard about what's going on with their left tackle, Josh Simmons. Have you heard?
I haven't heard, no.
So I guess he's dealing with a personal issue, and there's like there's rumors that have been kind of spreading that he hasn't showed up for like a few games, or they're trying to they've been trying to like touch base with him, and he's like nowhere to be found. And so a lot of like odd stuff coming out, and like I guess he just bolted to Cali. I think he's out in California right now, and supposedly it's a family issue, right? We don't know. But that's supposed to be kind of they having some kind of drama, and I guess he's known for some questionable personality issues that he's had in the past. So I don't know. I've heard some crazy shit, but at least for this game, he's not going to be there. This is a rookie left tackle for the Chiefs that they picked up this offseason. Other than that, I mean, you got guys who are kind of banged up, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and play. Rashad Smith, Hollywood Brown's going to play. You got D'Amico, got Taiwan Worthy, Rashid Rice. Big thing is Rashid Rice coming back. He's going to come back for this game after his suspension. And then we don't know what capacity Rashid Rice is going to be, because since he was suspended, he can't be part of the team. He can't be involved in team practices and all that. And obviously, he's probably doing workouts aside from with himself, but he hasn't really practiced and been involved with the team up until dealing with the other issue. But like Rashid Rice and then Josh Simmons, how big of an impact do you think those two are going to be not having Josh Simmons out. I mean, having not be in the game, and then Rasheed Rice clearly coming off. I don't know. I forgot how many games he's been suspended for. I know it's been quite a while. What do you think those two are going to kind of play a factor in on Sunday's game?
Well, Rasheed Rice is a big factor. Like, he's a great wide receiver, and it's not like he's coming back from an injury. He's coming back from a suspension, a DUI suspension. Like, he's going to be in great shape. There's not going to be anything wrong with him. He knows the offense. He's been able to practice with the team the last couple of weeks, so it's not like he is just getting in there learning the playbook. And you've already seen in the past where he is the Chiefs' number one wide receiver, and he will take over this game if you allow him to. So I think that's a big factor, and that's what the Chiefs have been waiting for. They've been hanging in, waiting for their guys to come back and be healthy. So it just sucks that it was an original 10-game suspension, and then all of a sudden they were like, the schedule came out and they were like, hey, you know what? You can come back against the Raiders. You can come back and play against the Raiders. Why not?
Right. Like perfect timing. Like, oh, you can come back against the Raiders. Wow.
Yeah, but the Chiefs' offensive line, even without Simmons, like you said, Simmons not playing, had already been questionable this year. So it's not like our defense can't get to him. Like, it hasn't been about that. Like, we should be able to get to Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes is just so evasive and able to overcome how bad his offensive line is, anyways. And that's what sucks. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
We see it where our offensive line sucks. Our quarterback can't get out of the way. Where Patrick Mahomes is able to run around, but he has been sacked 10 times this year, so that's a little high for him, I would think, right?
Yeah, that is. That's quite a bit. Especially the way they performed in the past from their offensive line for sure. I want to ask you about this. I don't know. What do you think? You think we're going to see Brock on Sunday? He's listed as doubtful, or you think he's still going to sit out this game and possibly come back after the bye?
I would prefer not to see Brock Bowers this weekend, especially because we're not thinking about this season. We're thinking about long term. And right. I understand why they would want to bring him back this weekend. Maybe even if he's not 100%, maybe just use him more as a decoy, because we've seen how the offense has shifted with him not there. I was looking at it right now. He's running and stuff. I was looking at some of the videos where he's running and stuff, and it doesn't look too bad. But why not give him the extra week? Like, Michael Mayer is a great tight end, and this is what's funny is Raider fans forgot about it. And like, I took a lot of shit for when the Raiders drafted Brock Bowers, but it's because of how good Michael Mayer is, anyways. Like, Michael Mayer is he's a top tight end in this league as well. He would be a number one anywhere else if we didn't have Brock Bowers or on another team. So I think you gotta let him heal up. If he's not 100%, why are we forcing him back? That's the crazy thing. Like, come on, we're 2-4.
Yeah.
Our division's running away from us unless they really feel that we can turn this thing around and we can come out here and win this game. It would be pointless to bring him out there to risk further injury and his career later on.
Right, and then as we're talking, you were talking about you're watching video of him, and here's Brock, literally without that knee brace and just wearing the sleeve only, so, and really kind of working out that knee. So I don't know. I would prefer too that he doesn't play this game. I mean, I love Brock, and he would obviously make an impact whether he's 100% or not. I mean, they still got to respect him either way. But if we really want to go ahead and think about it in a long-term sense, if we really want to go ahead and eventually put a run on, or at least, look towards next year, like you said, definitely got to go ahead and make sure he heals up, because it's just that vertical jump that he's able to go ahead and make that really affects his gameplay. Because we've seen it where the ball gets thrown, it's a little bit high. He's able to make that catch. He just has that hard time trying to go ahead and get up there and grab that ball. So we'll see what kind of happens with Brock. But yeah, I don't think he plays Sunday. I think we're gonna see Big Mike out there and do his damn thing for sure. I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Real quick, Jack put this in the comment, and this is something that we've talked about all week. I don't know if you've seen my videos, but he put the about the officiating crew this weekend. It's Cleet Blackman is the official this week.
Oh yeah,
and
yes.
he has done the last 2 games at he's done 3 Raider games, 3 Patrick Mahomes versus the Raiders games, and the Raiders are 2-1 in those games. The 2 wins are in Arrowhead, but he's also done 11 games that Patrick Mahomes has started since he's been with the Chiefs, and Patrick is 6-5 in those games. So if there was a referee that you wanted that's not really on the Chiefs payroll, I'm not saying that it's going to be 100% down the line because you never know, but if you ever wanted a head referee in this game to help the Raiders out, this is the guy. Like, this would be the guy. But yeah, it's an interesting fact how some of these go. And I've done my research on Clint Blakeman. He's been in some of the most controversial Chiefs games where the Chiefs have lost. Like I don't know if you remember the Buccaneers Chiefs game where it was like 54-50, or no, Rams Chiefs game where it was like 54-51. He was the referee of that one. There was a Tom Brady Patriots game in the playoffs where the Patriots beat the Chiefs in 2017. He was the referee of that one. So I don't think him and the Chiefs get along that well, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The referees can throw flags, pick up flags, but if your players aren't scoring points, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It all depends. At the end of the day, it all matters what the scoreboard dictates. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up. And I think everybody's kind of been talking about this all week and kind of a little bit to see a little bit on it to see kind of what happens next. But let's go ahead and talk about trade talk, right? So trade talk's kind of been the forefront a little bit this week. Like I said earlier, that tweet that came out from Ricky Scoops saying that Jakobi Meyers is going to be heading out of Vegas really, really soon really sparked a lot, literally a fire across Raider Nation, across at the NFL. So those talks have been ongoing. I mean, the whole Jakobi talk, him wanting out, I mean, this has been going on since before the season began, right? But it really took steam. Now that kind of the record is 2-4, it does, obviously it doesn't really look like yet that we might make that playoff run. Right now we're just trying to go ahead and gather wins as much as we can and try to, build something, build any kind of momentum. But, this was a big thing, having Jakobi come out. But this came out just a bit ago from my guy Raider Resistance. Again, shout out to my guy Raider Resistance. There was something put out by Diana Rossini over at The Athletic. She said the Las Vegas Raiders are actively making calls around the league for defensive linemen and corners ahead of the November 4th trade, per Diana Rossini. It also says The Athletic has also reported the Raiders are still getting traction for wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, in which they are open to trade him away. So crazy that they're still looking for another lineman. Obviously, they're looking for that Jermaine Pratt replacement. And, we do need help in that corner. Corners haven't been all too great. But looking at this, Joe, I mean, what are your thoughts? Wow, when you're looking at this story.
Well, I think it's smart. I think the Raiders are going into the trade deadline looking like, hey, we're looking for both. We're going to be buyers and sellers in this. If we can get a young defensive lineman, we can get a young corner piece that is signed for multiple years, we're going to do it. And if we could trade some of these veterans that either we're not going to sign again or, that aren't fitting us, like Jakobi Meyers, like, go ahead and say what we want. He's probably the best wide receiver we have on our team, but he's not fitting what they have right now. They're not going to sign him long term. If they would have done it already. So why not get something out of Jakobi Meyers, right? And trade him now and see what you have with Trey Tucker and the young guys. And while going out there and finding another defensive line, or like Woolen, the defensive back from Seattle, right? They can get him, or call the Jets, and maybe you're getting Quinn Williams before somebody else does. Like, this is good GM work if he's able to pull it off. Yes, this might not be the winning season that we want. This might not be the win total that we want, but at the end of the day, they're still constructing a roster that has been tore up and tore down and rebuilt multiple times over the last 3 or 4 seasons to build people. So if you just being content with what your roster is right now is not good. So the GM has to continue to try to do what he can. And if you can steal some of these players at the trade deadline, doesn't mean that we're contending, doesn't mean that he thinks we're going to be able to make playoffs, but he's still building his roster for the future. It's not always, like I said earlier, it's not always about this year. It's about what we're looking to build over the next couple of years, because you don't want to win just one season. You want to win multiple seasons over and over and continue to go to the playoffs. And then, once you get that depth, you're able to just add pieces here and there and go from there. So good for the Raiders. Good for John Spytek to get his ass out there and do it, because we need it.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my guy, Jack. He says Patrick Ave needs to mix it up. On our defense, if the Raiders just run cover 3, Mahomes will crush it. Facts, bro. And I think we saw this last game. They were not running as much cover 3. I think they were running cover 2 on their defense, and we're starting to see success at it. Obviously, getting to Cam Ward makes a big difference, and that's really how this kind of defense operates. We know our corners are not great, and that's where really the pressure to the quarterback needs to be applied, and it will help that corner be able to get some time, because now you're forcing a quarterback to throw early, throw off their timing, and you're not giving guys time to go ahead and create that separation, and you're having throws forced a lot. So yeah, for sure, 100% agree. And I'm glad. My thing is this, and I was going to go ahead and kind of cover this topic, is the whole Caillou Blue Kelly thing. He hasn't played a whole too great. Pete loves him, and we saw Darian Porter come out and have some success. I actually played pretty well, and for the injured Eric Stokes. So I wanted, for me, I feel that Caillou's not stepping up to the plate. I would love to go ahead and see Darian Porter and Eric Stokes really be out there for that starting corners, having those two guys out there and see what that looks like for them to actually do. I think we only seen it maybe in preseason. Other than that, we really didn't see a whole lot of those two guys being out. And the whole thing was, Darian Porter was, he was really hyped up, and it looks like he had a lot of reps in the very beginning in preseason. But after that, we really didn't see a whole lot. I don't know, there was like some issues, but he played pretty well. And those 2 games that he kind of covered for Eric Stokes, I think he was out with that knee injury. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, with Caillou and Darian Porter, do you think there's a switch to be made, or should we kind of see if Caillou could really turn it around?
Well, isn't this what is pissing you off with Pete Carroll? Like, he's preaching competition and fighting for your job each and every week, but it's only for certain players. Like, but if he likes the player, like he likes Blue, like, it's like, what are we doing? Like, Porter has shown that he could play, and he's been able to do it in the games that he's been out there, and the plays that he's been out there. But and you're not playing him, and I don't understand that. Like you said in the offseason, Pete Carroll came out and said, "I'm not afraid to play rookies." And then we get to the regular season, and he's afraid to play the rookies. Like the only one that he played Ashton Genty, but they were afraid to give him the rock the first couple games, and now it's like, okay, now we're doing it. Like, put the rookies in there. This season we're 2-4. We're 2-4, and we're week 7. You need to see what some of these guys can do, and you can't tell me that Darian Porter is going to be worse than what we're seeing out there right now. You can't, like, there's no way. And where's Richardson? Like, you would think that he would be a big guy in that secondary too. Like, I want to see these young guys play. I want to see. I'm tired of it. If it's not working, Pete, you got to be the. Like, I thought Pete Carroll was different than some of the coaches that we've had in the past. That he was going to be like, hey, if you're not cutting it, we're gonna switch you out. But it seems like he's been more lenient than anything else. Like, I don't know what. Like, I understand that you don't want to be wrong. Like, you want to show that, hey, I've done this. I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes you are wrong, and sometimes you got to make it's better to fix the mistake quickly than to continue to let it go multiple weeks. Like, That's what I'm waiting for. Just make the change, Pete. Make the change.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work, then you change it right back. That's all that matters.
Facts. And that's the thing. It's just like it looks worse if you just like let it lie and like never address it, never fix it. You're just like, okay, this is the best that we can do, or this is the best, possible solution for our situation or whatever, and never address it when like, hey, other guys have performed. You need to go ahead and see. You need to give them the shot to go ahead and see what they can go ahead and do out there. And we've seen guys time and time again rise to the occasion, and then they get taken out right away. So that's the thing that kind of is very frustrating, I think, with this season with Pete in here and kind of try to run the show his way, and really haven't seen the results really transfer over on the field. And so, I don't know.
And the main factor is we have Pete Carroll and we have Patrick Graham.
Yeah.
And both of them basically have a little different philosophy on how they run defense. Like and at one point it's going to come to a head of how they want to do it. And that's the other interesting factor is that we have those two that run two different defenses and trying to work together. And I don't understand what's going on out there. Or what Pete wants. If Pete wants to call the defense, then he just needs to do it. And he needs to fire Pete Carroll and hire Robert Leonard as the intern defensive coordinator and go from there.
Yeah. Or have Graham if he's going to be the interim and just kind of go from there and figure it out next year for sure. Let me go ahead and continue on the trade talk. Obviously, I think the biggest thing here is Jakobi Meyers. The Jakobi Meyers trade talk is still ongoing, and it is a trade imminent. I think that's the biggest thing. If there's a trade imminent, I think there is. Honestly, I almost thought that was going to happen this week. I thought it was going to be that fast, but as of right now, I mean, guess he really is dealing with an injury that he suffered on Sunday's game. I think there was a certain catch that I saw that supposedly he got injured on that play, right, quote unquote. But either way, there are multiple teams interested in the trade for Jakobi Meyers per Josina Anderson. Obviously, there's the Steelers. You got New England in that mix. I forgot what there was one more team that you can go ahead and put into that column as well. Oh man, I forgot. But off the top of my head, right now I think the front runner is the Patriots and is the Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers having that close game that they just lost over the Bengals. Now they probably could have used the services of Jakobi Meyers to go ahead and get that dub. But let me ask you this, Joe? Do you really think a trade's really going to happen? Do you think it happens over the bye week, or do you think it's going to be like at the deadline day of it goes down type of situation? Or you think we keep Jakobi and ride him out for to the end of the season? Well, what are your thoughts on that?
If the Raiders win this weekend, they keep him. Like that's a simple fact. If they end up winning this weekend, they're not making any changes. If they lose, I see Jakobi traded Monday or Tuesday. Like it would have been stupid for the Raiders to trade Jakobi Meyers this week going into the Chiefs game. If you're going to make the move, you do it next week going into the bye. Then you have the whole bye week and into the next game to get your system going with the new guys that are involved. So if they're going to trade Jakobi, it's going to be Monday or Tuesday of next week, and that's the best way to do it. And to be honest, I don't care if you want to trade him. Trade him. Like Jakobi's not a number one wide receiver that we're treating him like. No. Like if we had another compliment wide receiver that we could have like next to him, then I'm all for keeping him. But you're going to have to pay Jakobi. Jakobi wants more than what he's making right now. And and if he's not fitting the system, if he's not fitting the personnel that we want, then why are we keeping him? Like you drafted Jack Betch to come in here and take his spot anyway. So might as well see what you can get. But it's not just going to be Jakobi either. Like you look at all our veterans, like Raheem Mostert. You don't think Raheem Mostert's getting phone calls from the league? Like people are calling about him, like one of the fastest running backs and veteran running backs in the league. That we're not using. So I think I think we could see not only Jakobi move next week, but let's see how bad this game goes. If it's a good game for the Raiders and we're close, or like if we're hanging in there and we're close to it, then maybe the Raiders don't make that many changes. But if this is just another BTA and we're like the Colts game, yeah, major changes will be happening. I think it has to happen Monday and Tuesday of next week because, like I said, going into the bye week, you want to be able to have a plan going forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I agree. I think it does happen right before the trade deadline. My thing with the whole Jakobi thing, yes, I was about, okay, let's play the guy. He put up great numbers last year. Raiders didn't see it that way. They held off, and his production hasn't been all too impressive at all. I mean, I think he's like a 400 or 500 yards or around that range in receiving yards. It's not that much. I think it's under 500. So he's not there. He's not even at the halfway point yet. He hasn't really been like that game changer in this offense, right? My thing is this. I mean, he's a very serviceable wide receiver too. He has a lot of value. He can go into almost any team and be able to contribute like right off the bat.
Yeah.
If we move him now, and right now the current market value for him is about a 4th round pick. That's kind of what it's looking like at. And there's two sides to this coin. You can either trade him now and get for sure that 4th round pick, or you can wait, ride him out the season, let him hit free agency, and if he gets a big contract, you're probably gonna get that the 4th round comp pick, right? Comp pick's a little bit tricky. And I think he has to sign like a bigger contract salary, and you can't replace him with an equal value player. I think we have to be able to get somebody like a little bit down the pole. It's like a whole weird system how these comp picks. I don't fully understand it, but either way, we'll get some type of compensation. But if you really just want to bypass all that, you can make the trade, and especially if you're not really contending. Being an actual contender this season. 2, you went out and got a 2nd round wide receiver in Jack Besh you had faith in him because you went out and got him in the 2nd, but you really haven't played him. So we don't know really what he is. We know that as the little that we've seen, he's been there. He's been able to produce, but at this point, we just don't know. So I think it's all beneficial if you do move on from Jakobi. I honestly said probably like last week, like I don't see him the way that we've been going. I don't see him here, by the Jaguar game. I really don't. I'll be surprised if he's still here. And if he's still here, all right, cool, whatever. We'll ride him out to the season. But I don't see him here in 2026 for sure, especially with Jack Best here. And they're probably going to go out next year and get the number 1 wide receiver for this offense for sure. But I do expect a trade to be kind of imminent within the next probably week and a half. The bye week is really good. This game, you're right. This game is going to dictate how we roll and the type of changes, how many guys get moved, and how many draft picks we get up. Because then you're going to start seeing really that planning for next year. Hopefully, we can get a lot of the pieces that we need in order for us to better ourselves next year for sure. Let's see here. Really quick shout out to the chat. Appreciate everyone pulling up and rocking with us on this Saturday morning. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys head on over and hit that like and subscribe button on this channel, and make sure you guys go ahead and head on over to Joe's channel and give him a subscribe. I got his channel link pinned down in the description, so make sure you guys head on over to Joe's channel, give him a subscribe on my guy over here for sure. All right, really quick, just know DJ, that comp pick won't count for 2027 draft, not the 2026. It would count for the 2026, from what I know. Usually they give you that year. So hopefully that works out. Appreciate my guy Bloody Raider in the building. Salute to you, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up and tapping in. Let me bring this part up. If Jakobi leaves, who do you think is going to step up? Do you think it's going to be the Trey Tucker show? Trey Tucker is going to continue balling out. He's having a really good season. do we finally see Jack Bech really shine and show why he's why he was picked in the second round? What are your thoughts on who would step up if Jakobi actually does leave, depart from the Raiders?
Well, it would have to be Jack Bech that steps up, but the same production that we're getting out of the wide receivers right now, it'd probably be exactly the same. Like, I don't see any difference with Jakobi. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we trade him, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, our wide receiver room is probably one of the worst in the NFL right now, and taking Jakobi away just is going to make it worse. But like I said, like, I'm big on, if we're losing, let the young guys play. So get Dante Thornton back out there, try to use him correctly, and then get Trey Tucker and Bech going with it. Even back, what's his name, Backman. See what these young guys have, and let them do their thing. And that's the main thing is, that's why you would trade Jakobi. You're not trading Jakobi for the draft pick or whatever, because whatever, you can make that up. You're trading him for the young players to get in there and get the reps and continue to grow through the season, so you know what you have going in the next season. That is why you would trade Jakobi. You're not trading like a 4th round pick. Like you said, we can get a comp pick for him, or it might not be a 4th, but we're going to get something for him anyways. But just try to see what your young guys have, and that's probably where Raider Nation will get upset, because when they trade Jakobi, that's when you know we're giving up on the season.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
for sure.
That's the simplest way to say it, right? It's like,
yeah, keep it a bean. I mean, it is. You're kind of making that season a wash at that point, because you're moving one of your top guys, out of your team. That's kind of what it boils down to. And especially if you start moving other guys, and we're starting to have a little bit of a fire sale, it's like, okay, now they're kind of really into evaluation mode. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's the route we're gonna go. All right, cool. But it really depends how we perform on Sunday, for sure, 100%. Let's kind of talk about the other elephant in the room, Geno Smith. Can Geno really play a clean game? I honestly think that's what's gonna take to go ahead and win on Sunday. He has to play a clean game, and if he can't play a clean game, when do you pull Geno? If you do pull Geno, or do you even think he does get pulled? What are your thoughts, Joe? Do you think he can play a clean game first? And if he can't, when do you make that decision, or can that decision be made?
so I guess the games that he's done good have been their road games, right? And they've been outside. So I guess we got that going for us. Like, even the Washington game, he still threw 3 touchdowns, and it was just the offensive line that gave that game up. Do I think he could play a clean game? No, because Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defense coordinators in the league, and he's going to design some stuff, and they're just going to sit there and play with Geno Smith. Like, some of these other defenses that are not as good have been doing that. Like, they've been toying with Geno, showing him something, and then just picking him right off. But this game, this has to be on Chip Kelly to just find ways to run the ball with Ashton Jeanty. Don't let Geno do it. Like, we saw everybody's savior, right? We saw Aiden O'Connell a couple years ago. Only in the first quarter, and then nothing else. We didn't pass the rest of the game. Like, that's the kind of game we need to have. Like, don't put the game in Geno Smith's hand. Hand the ball off. Now, if Geno makes these mistakes and he makes them early in the game, yeah, you need to bench him. Like, you need to bring in Kenny Pickett. And I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is any better, but holding people accountable for their mistakes is what you need to do. So if Geno is like, and that's one thing that I think pissing more Raider fans off than anything else. Like, interceptions happen. We've seen interceptions happen. You throw interceptions, whatever. You're trying to make a play. But the no accountability by Geno Smith in the press conferences is what pisses us off more. Like, when he goes out there and, most of them were tipped up. No, they weren't, Geno. No, they weren't. And if they were tipped, it's because you threw it in the triple coverage, and the first guy tipped it, and the other guy just took it back. Like, just come out and say, like, I'm having a rough time right now. I'm trying to fix it. I'd rather you take a little bit of accountability, and that's what people like Derek Carr for. Like, right? Is Derek Carr probably played just as bad as Geno Smith, but he came out and took accountability, and people found they found that liking to Derek Carr, and we're able to be like, okay, this guy is trying. Where it's like Geno Smith is not. He's just pissing us off more and more. He talks, and it's like I'd rather you, like I said, I'd rather you take the accountability. Let me know that you're working on it. You do see the mistakes that you're making, and you're going to try to fix it. Right. But yeah, I think Geno Smith should have been benched a couple weeks ago at the end of that. What game was it? The third quarter, the Indianapolis game. He should have been benched during the Indianapolis game for at least a quarter, and then you could have brought him back last week as a starter. But at one point, you got to sit him down and refresh his head. Let it see if it's just a mental thing at one point and go from there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, my thing was this is like that in that Colts game. And I'm sorry to everybody to rehash the past a little bit, but in that Colts game, there was a point. I literally checked out in the third quarter. The game was still on in the house, but I was outside. I was like, I'm done. I'm not really going to pay attention to it. But we knew there was a certain point that game was over. The game was not winnable. Why not give that fourth quarter to Kenny Pickett? Let him get some reps in. Let him get a feel for the game, right? We're not going to win it. It's not – unless the dude throws like 3 touchdowns, which is like rock star status, which it's Kenny Pickett. Doubtful. But that was my thing. And for me, it was like Pete's trying to control the narrative. Pete's not trying to have any type of doubt or any type of controversy in his quarterback, because if Kenny would have went out and threw 2 interceptions and put this game more respectable, everybody's going to be on that. Look at what Kenny did. Why don't we go with Kenny? You need to put Kenny Pickett in, and all that talk would have had started. And that's Pete trying to control that narrative. And that's the thing with Geno. It's like he sounds like he's a little bit of a head case. He gets in his mind, and you really need to kind of like baby him and coach him a little bit to be like, hey, bro, you just need to kind of, slow the game down and all that pep talk, rah shit, right? That Pete can do. And I don't know what's going on, and he hasn't done it or it hasn't worked this year. But that's who Geno is. Geno, at some point, like I said, Pete needs to come to that Jesus moment and just be like, look, bro, sorry, I love you. You're my boy, but I need to sit you down. This is for your own good. You need to get out, get your mind right, get out your head, let this boy take a crack at it, see what happens. But because I think Pete has already done more than enough to prove his loyalty. Literally brought that dude from Seattle, gave him a brand new fucking contract. He got a bag. He got paid, getting playing time, sticking with him, even if he looks like hot dog water. Still defending him, vouching for him. But at a point, you got to be like, look, you got to put the team first, Pete. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You're like, let's keep it a bean. You got to put the team first. And I feel like at times he doesn't. I think it's just like his ego, the pride is always first and not the team. And that's why sometimes we see the product that we're seeing right now. But I think there's a point we got to put Kenny Pickett in just to like either have that sink or swim move on Geno. Like either you're going to rise to the occasion or you're just going to be all up in your feelings, bro, and ride the bench for the rest of the season if that's how you want to go ahead and see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But there has to be a point where you make that move. I feel that, if it gets out of hand because it could get ugly, you have to make a point where you pull Geno. If it's 3 picks again, we're down by like 2 touchdowns. It's still within some type of like salvacy. I think you got to roll with Kenny Pickett. I don't know.
You have to. Like, you have to see what he can do, and you have to see maybe if he can light that spark or something. But yeah, Pete Carroll, I don't know. Like you said, it's just a stubbornness from him. But I don't think they understand. Like, this isn't the Seattle fan base. This isn't the wherever you came from. This isn't USC. Like, we're not college kids. We're the Raider Nation. Like, we watch the games. We watch the film afterwards. Like, we are involved in our team more than some other fan bases. So you can't just try to blind us with a bullshit excuse during a press conference and tell us like they were saying, like, we want to practice more. And then you run 10 play drives, 13 play drives where you're just handing the ball off. That's the practice that you wanted. Ashton Genty wasn't even in there at the end of that game. Like that's the accountability that I want. And I understand Gene, he doesn't want a quarterback controversy. He thought maybe he doesn't want to get into Gino's head. But at some point you have to. Some point you have to be that old school coach. And like I said, you have to grab Gino by his face mask and let him know, like, hey, dude, stop. Like, you're killing this team right now. You are putting us in bad situations. Like, if you look, we are worst in the league in average starting drives for the opponents. Our opponents have the best average starting position at the 37-yard line, and we have the worst starting position. So we're giving up 12 yards already to opponents. And this is mostly because of Geno Smith and where he's putting our defense at. And sometimes our defense has been good and they've been able to bend, not break, and give up the 3 points instead of the 7. But I mean, at one point you keep digging that hole and it's going to be harder and harder to get out of. Because like that Colts game, we actually had a great game plan. If you look at the beginning, the first drive, we didn't get the 7 points. We got the 3, but it was a great 10-play drive, and we did what we needed to do, and we kept their offense off the field, and then we went down there. Then they scored, and then the block punt and all that just took us out of it. Like, so we were there. It's just the turnovers and everything else that have been killing us, and that's what I want to see from this game. Just do the long drives, keep Patrick Mahomes on the field, and hey, little by little, Gino, like, don't put us in the bad situation. Like I've said, we don't need Gino to go out there and light it up. We've seen bad quarterbacks. We're not expecting a lot out of our quarterbacks. We just want a simple, good, like, remember when we used to complain about dink and doinks? Like, just do it. Yeah. I don't care now. Like, I just don't want the ball in the other team's hands.
Yeah, and crazy, fucking Mahomes does it, and it works for him. He dinks and doinks a lot, and especially he doesn't have the best receiver core like he did in previous years. So now you're starting to see that more from him now, and I think Gino kind of has to follow suit a little bit of that because it's just the accuracy is just not there, and the decision making is just not there. I think you need to go ahead and also see Gino run a little bit more. I think he needs to be on his back a little bit more, especially with the way that the Chiefs defense has been struggling with that, with the run game, that run defense. I think if he runs a little bit more, I think he finds success. He might need to go ahead and pull a couple of moves like that. You don't want to need to do that all game long, but just give a different look to that offense, and just like, all right, now you gotta take Gino seriously, because if you give him space, he's gonna go ahead and run for like 10, 15 yards on you, and that might change the trajectory of the game. So hopefully he does play a clean game, but if it does start getting ugly, Pete needs to go ahead and make that call, and just like, Kenny, it's time for you to go in. Let's go, boy.
Yeah, and
get in there.
I saw Melissa saying that Pete is too old already, but I mean, really, this is the battle of the two oldest NFL coaches right now, in Pete Carroll versus Andy Reid. So you can't tell me age is a factor if Andy Reid is still dominating and Pete Carroll's not. This is just – the problem is, and I'll tell you right now, is Pete Carroll and Josh Spytek misread our talent and our roster. They thought we had more talent and more depth than we actually did in the offseason, and that's probably why they didn't attack free agency like they should have. And then they actually got here, and they're like, oh, maybe we aren't going to win 10 games this year, and it's just right there where I think that's the main point is they thought we had more talent in the building than we actually do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also to kind of add to that, I think one person wanted to do one thing and the other person kind of wanted to do another. You have Pete that kind of was like, I want to win now, I want to compete now, and then you had Spytek's like, no, I want to also build for the future. And they weren't really on the same page. You can kind of tell not everything was on the same page. And then sometimes on the off, just kind of going back to the off season, the way they would answer questions to the media is like, Pete kind of said too much, and then Spytek would say it's something kind of a little bit different. And I'm like, what's going on there? especially when it comes to Brady. Like, oh yeah, like Pete's like, we're in communication with him. We value his opinion, and then Spike thinks, oh, he kind of give us the reins to kind of make the best decision on that, and he's not really too involved in that, and so you always had that weird communication between both of them that like they weren't synced up, and that might have been a telltale sign for like this season so far. Let me kind of shift this. We talked about Big Mike earlier, and he had a pretty good game. He had 5 receptions for 50 yards in the last game. Do we see a continuation of Big Mike having another big game, being a factor out there? And what is it going to look like with this Chiefs defense? What's your thoughts on that? And then I'm going to go ahead and also hit you with this one. Will the O-line find success versus this Chiefs defense? Are we able to go ahead and make the necessary blocks and really have a really good pass pro and a really good a run block to give Ashley Genty some lanes? What are your thoughts on those two things?
I think we should see a good game from Mayer. I think he should be able to find some open room right there. And for our offensive line took a lot of heat early in the season, and we haven't given them the right props since then. Since they were able to, I'm not saying they went out and fixed every problem, but they've looked like a completely different team. I mean, at one point, Geno's having almost 3 seconds to throw the ball, and some of this is going back on Geno now. Our offensive line has been able to correct it, especially when they finally put JPJ out there, which is a whole different thing. Like JPJ is actually doing a great job. Parham is starting to come around, and maybe he's not thinking as much. And this is something that we got to remember too, is when you have a new system and you have a new offensive coordinator and you have players that are not familiar with it, they're thinking a lot on the field. And once you stop thinking and you actually know exactly, like you hear the play and you're like, okay, got it. And you're not thinking about, okay, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to hit this guy or this guy? You start playing and you start flying faster on the field. And we're starting to see that with our offensive line. They're starting to gel a little bit more. I mean, losing Colton Miller sucked, and now Forsythe's out there. He did good his first game. He didn't do as good last game because now there's film on him. So that's going to be interesting. But if you've seen it, like Chris Jones isn't as good as he was in the past. Like, I don't know if you saw where he was walking and the last game where he was tired. He was like, the end of the game, he's tired. And I saw something where the Chiefs kind of want to put him on a pitch count so he's better towards the end of the fourth quarter. But this Chiefs defensive line is able to be ran against, and it's not the dominant defense. Because remember how we always talked about how the Chiefs won all these championships with Patrick Mahomes? But most of the time it's because they had a pretty good defense toward the end of the year. They had a solid defense that didn't make mistakes. This defense is not there. You can run on this defense. You can pass on this defense. You just have to be able to be smart with the football and not turn the football over. So I'm not saying our offensive line is not going to make the mistakes and they're going to give up a big sack here and there, but they're working towards it and they're getting better. So I think our offensive line can find success this weekend, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I really do hope so. I mean, Forsythe looked a little bit better in this past game. I'm still on the fence about this guy, but he did look a little bit better. Obviously, pass pro wasn't a whole too good because we gave up 2 sacks in that game. But I mean, there's some improvements to be made there. I don't at this point, honestly, I don't even know if they're ever gonna switch any guys around to see if it works better. I've been saying that for like the last, I don't know, we're on games week 7, so the last 6 weeks. You need to shift the guys around. Even if you want to leave Meredith at center, great, leave him at center. Shift Palm around, shift JPJ around, but also too, you kind of lose a little bit of that continuity that or guys have to kind of get readjusted to their position. So hopefully they just kind of get it together, because this game is going to be the game that they really need to go ahead and really execute for sure. But let's talk about this. How big will Genty's impact be? We talked about kind of taking the ball away from Geno's hands, right? And really having that run game established. We saw what Genty can do. I mean, he had over 100 yards in that, what was it, the Bears game? He had another 60-plus yards last Sunday. and and we saw Genty is able to go ahead and have those big runs. How important do you think is going to be, and then do you think he's going to go ahead and really emulate or replicate what he did on Sunday?
Oh no, it's very important to have Genty involved in this game and get him going and get him the 20 plus carries that he needs, because as soon as we go one dimensional and we get away from the running game, we're done. And I don't know, screen passes against the Chiefs really don't work that well. So I don't know if they want to get him, how much we want to get him involved in the passing game. But I mean, I love it when he is, and it's been working out. But we need to use him because everything. You've seen it. Everything in the NFL is off the play action. And if Genty can have a big game and he can scare him a little bit, then we can get Geno Smith and the passing game going. But they're going to stack that box quick, and they're going to come after us because they know that that's all we have is Genty right now. But you've seen it with the way that Genty has played the last, 3 weeks since he went back to his original stance. Same thing that I was talking about, like the thinking. He looks like he's like the game is slowing down for him now. He's starting to get his groove going. He's starting to bounce it outside more. And once Genty is getting those one-on-ones on the outside, he's looking better and better. And that's something that we didn't see the first couple of games from Genty is his ability. He would just run up to the line, get tackled, and it's like, okay, what are you doing, Genty? Like you were drafted top 6 for a reason. But now, if you look the last couple of games, his vision is better. Like I said, the game slowed down for him because he, like it or not, Raider Nation, he went to a Boise State and he played against not some of the top talent in college. So now he's playing against top tier talent, or these guys are quicker, it's faster, and that's what people say. Like they say, the game has to slow down for him, and that it looks like Genty is right there. It looks like he's on the verge of breaking through and becoming the player that we're waiting for him to do. And like I said, if this offensive line can just do enough, just get in front of somebody just a little bit, Genty can do the rest of it.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely got to go ahead and run the ball heavy, especially with this Chiefs struggling on the run defense for sure. And really wear that defense down. And then I think once you start doing that, you can go ahead and maybe take a couple of shots. Again, I wouldn't move past 10 yards, to be honest, until really you really get somebody really open, and then we have a defender maybe 2 yards away, then you might want to go ahead and take a shot down for sure. Kind of moving to the other side of the ball, obviously, Max. Are we going to get another big game for Max? I mean, this dude has been kind of on a tear since that Bears game. He's just really has come alive. Took a little step back in the Colts game, but I mean, he's been on it. Are we going to and this is the thing with these rivalry games, it just brings something out of these guys. It just maybe, I don't know if you want to call it extra effort, but it just they push themselves even more. And we know how that little rivalry beef he has going on between Mahomes and himself. Are we going to see Max on Mahomes this Sunday?
Yeah, Max has taken a whole nother step forward with what he's doing, especially like you said, it started with that Bears game where he was like, you know what, let's go. If I got to pick this defense up and I got to put everybody on my back, I'm going to do it. And we've seen that from Max in the past, but I don't think we've seen him as dominant as he has been this year. And people are just, when people look at Max Crosby, they only look at his stats and they go, oh, he only has 4 sacks, but they're not seeing how dominant he has been against the run game on some of these. I forget what game it was. I forget what game it was. I'm trying to think of it, but he was so dominant against the run game. I think it was a Charger game where we lost that game, but he was so dominant in the run game, it was unbelievable. And people are like, well, he didn't get a sack. He should have done something. But then you go back and you look and go, that probably was one of the best games of his career, and how he was all over that line. And I think sometimes Max tries to do too much, and I think he's been able to reel that in. I think the first 3 games of the season, he was all over. If you watch, he was starting on the left side, and then he would end up on the right side, and he would lose his lanes. And it's like, Max, you're good. We don't need you to do everything. Just do your thing. and force him to somebody else. And I think he's been able to do that the last couple of weeks. And now, like, look at that. The back-to-back weeks or back-to-back multiple weeks where the quarterback after the game is like, he's the best player in the NFL. He's the best player in the NFL, and there's nobody else like him. And Max loves to step up, especially against Patrick Mahomes. We've seen it on that show Quarterback, where every play he's tapping Mahomes, and letting them know, like, I'm here. So I don't know if this running game the Chiefs have been able to get their running game going sometimes, but right now it's struggling. So Max should be able to get to Patrick Mahomes and take those little hits. I love Max. We already know I'm not looking for a big game from Max. I'm looking for a big game from Thomas Booker. I'm looking for a big game from Butler. I'm looking for a big game from Malcolm Kuntz. Somebody on that defensive line needs to step up and help Max against Patrick Mahomes. Because we already know Max is going to have a big game no matter what. We need one of the other guys to step up.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And this is the thing with Max. I mean, his presence alone, literally, you have to respect it. You got guys putting, you have guys putting 2 bodies on him, 3 guys on him, just to go ahead and stop him and slow him down. And that's the thing that he creates. Sometimes it's just not, it's indirect, because then you free up guys like Devin White that can go ahead and get to that quarterback, right? Like we saw last game. That's a perfect example. You had Tyree get involved. He got involved too. And it just frees up guys, because now you can't cover everybody, right? If you're putting 2 guys on Max, there's somebody going to be open, right? Especially if you're going to go ahead and rush someone in. And that's the thing that Max brings. But not only that, he's also been performing himself. I think he's like about a sack a game from what I remember for each post-game reaction show that I've been doing. He's about a sack a game. So he's kind of right up on par, right? He's touching these guys. We've seen big production from him. It just started off a little bit slow, and then that's the thing, but it's starting to ramp up. And I think come this game on Sunday, you're even going to see a nastier Max Crosby. That's for sure. And I'm very excited to see that.
But where's Jamal Adams? Remember when we brought like Jamal Adams in the preseason, and we were like, we're going to use him as a linebacker, and we're going to use him for what he's worth and blitzing. Like, Jamal Adams is a great blitzer. Why? I want to see more of it. Let's do it. If there was ever a game that you needed Jamal Adams to get to the backfield, this is it.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they really utilize him and start letting him loose. He wasn't a big factor last game, but I did see him out there. I think he was a part of some of the pressures, but obviously he needs to be more involved. But I think the thing that I really want to go ahead and ask, and I think it's been on everybody's mind, and maybe this is somebody you also put on that trade talk, Malcolm Kuntz. Are we finally going to see some production from him again? He had a pretty decent game last Sunday, but aside from that, he hasn't done anything really impactful. I mean, you had a guy like Devin White who came in and literally changed the trajectory of the game and made that impact. Even Tyree, like we haven't talked a whole lot about Tyree this season, and he was out there to get a sack and he was able to go ahead and recover that fumble. But it's stuff like that kind of makes your eyes open. But we haven't seen really anything from Malcolm Kuntz. He's been really quiet. Again, he's still on that 1-year prove-it deal. At this point, what would you if we don't see anything come Sunday from him? Because we've seen in in 23, he had that game. He had a really good game against KC. So if he doesn't have a good game this Sunday, could this be a guy that you potentially move, or you just ride out with him and just let him go in free agency? I mean, what are your thoughts on Malcolm Kuntz and his production so far?
I don't know what you'll get for Malcolm Kuntz. I mean, so I would just hold on to him for now. But this is something that I talked about in the offseason where people were like, Malcolm Kuntz is going to come back and he's going to be 100%. He's going to just dominate. And I was like, pump your brakes on Malcolm Kuntz, because this is a big injury. Like an ACL tear and a meniscus tear is not is not an injury that you just bounce back from. Like, not everybody is Adrian Peterson and just like eight months later, they're like, I'm ready to go. This is normally a 2-year deal. Normally you see they're out there playing 1 year and then they don't get back to their football form until the second year. So it was already like, hey, let's see what Malcolm Kuntz can do. And especially towards the end of the season, we had to lower our expectations from what we wanted to see from Malcolm Kuntz. And I think we're starting to see where he's bouncing back. I think it's been a year, was August. So this is what, September, October. Yeah. So about a year and 2 months since that big injury. And it's just not you just can't bounce back like it. We can't expect these guys to be superhuman all the time. So I think I don't think we trade Malcolm Kuntz, and I don't know who would want him. Like unless somebody's going to offer us something like a 3rd or 4th round pick, which I don't know if they would. Then I think we hold on to him and just see what he can continue to build in this defense. And like I said, just look forward more to next year than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. You can go ahead and play it out that way. I mean, he's on that 1 year prove-it deal. It's just a $12 million that he got for this year. I've heard about this ramp up. Like, it takes time for guys, especially coming off an ACL injury, for them to really kind of get going. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we see him really turn on and light up. Probably, if not in this game, after the bye, at some point. I like Malcolm and I like, shout out to my guy Alec. He put up this comment. Kuntz got 3 sacks on Mahomes himself on that one game. There you go. And that's the thing that we've been waiting for. We haven't seen it from Malcolm quite yet. Hopefully this game brings it out of him, and it's like he replicates at least getting a sack and a half, somewhere 2 sacks in the game, or half a sack even, but just really enforcing his presence out there. That's really what we want to see. We want to see that disruption, because if they have to think about Max, now you got to think about Kuntz, because he's balling, he's on it. You're in trouble, because now that frees up lanes for guys like Lualu. You got guys like Jamal Adams, Devin White. And that's gonna create a whole lot of problems for that offensive line and for Patrick Mahomes for sure.
Well, and then what helps the secondary? What helps a bad secondary? A great pass rush. Getting in the quarterback's face, making him scared and throw the ball quickly. And that's where like guys like Jack Jones were able to thrive in our defenses when we had the quarterback scared and just throwing the ball up, and they were able to make those big plays. So if we want to help our secondary and people want to see more interceptions, we got to get our pass rush going.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and ask this question as well. I brought up Devin White just a bit ago. Can Devin White have a repeat performance of Sunday? You heard him earlier. He said Devin White's going to win. All right. So what do you think? You think we're gonna see a follow-up performance from Devin White, or we're gonna see he might have to go ahead and kind of step back a little bit in this game? Well, what are your thoughts on Devin White?
I think he'll play exactly like he's been playing all year, and average. Last week was above average, but I think he's been good the whole season. Like he's been that like cheap investment that we made to see if he could do something, and he's been able to be on the field. I don't know if he'll make a big impact, because he's, like I said, last week, even in the great game that he had last week, he still missed some tackles. He still had some guys bounce off of him, and he showed his age just a little bit. But I think he's not going to be bullied. I think he's going to come out here and he's going to play his game. And if he gets beat, it's just off of what the game plan around him. So I'm not expecting him to go out there and light it up, but I'm just expecting him to play a Devin White game, which is just an average, normal game.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. But and then let me kind of cap it off with this. How do you think the Raiders defense is going to really do against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? Are we going to go ahead and really be able to get into Mahomes' head? Are we going to really be able to disrupt them and really limit this guys to 20 points and under? Because Raiders have done really good against the run, right? And they've held for the majority of the part, except for outside the Commanders, the Colts, and the Bears. we've held teams mostly to 20 points or under. Do you think we're gonna see a follow up to that and have a physical type game with the Chiefs and kind of disrupt their offense and really limit those guys?
In my heart, I hope so. In my heart, I'm sitting here going, I hope this is an AFC West battle where we're hanging in there and it's going back and forth. And we've seen it in division games, in games like this. We've seen teams step up and play a different game and match up differently. And hey, we sometimes you don't match up well against one team, but you match up really well against another team, and that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm seeing. But the one, like you said, the Raiders have been good against the run games. They have been good. They've been good on first and second down. The one thing that the Raiders can't do is stop a team on third down. Like, we can't get off the damn field when we need to. Either we make the big penalty or we give up a big 3rd and 10 or whatever. It's like get off the field on third down or create the turnover when you need to, and we'll be able to compete. And the defense, I'm not hating on our defense as much as some people have. I think our defense has been put in bad situations this year, and I think they're able to control the game. But if they're not going to get our defense will be dictated by how our offense does in this game. If our offense continues to put them in bad situations, our defense is not going to hold up, and Mahomes and this team will eat away and put up some points just like the Colts did in the second half. But if our offense is having big drives and they're going down there and they're putting points up and they're able to, I'm not saying go up there and light the scoreboard up, but it's like 13, we got 13 points by halftime or whatever, and we're on these long drives and we're not putting our defense in bad situations by turning the ball over inside our own territory, then our defense should be able to get to Patrick Mahomes, should be able to hit him and keep this Chiefs offense a little bit in check. But the moment our offense makes the mistakes, it's all downhill after that.
Oh yeah, that I agree 100%.
But I'm not one of those guys that are just completely writing the Raiders off this weekend. Like, this is a perfect game where you see in the NFL where, hey, a team is a 12-point underdog, right? A team is going in there with absolutely no chance, and this could be one of those games that the Chiefs just overlook it. And the Raiders have nothing. They have a bye week next week. So the Raiders should go out there and just put their bodies on the line, give up whatever they need to do just to get through it, and you can rest all next week. So we've seen this in the NFL. Anytime a team is who wins most of the time when a team is 10-point underdogs, like the Las Vegas casinos, because everybody's going to be putting their money on the Chiefs going, oh, this is easy money, blah, 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 blah. And the Raiders come right back with it. So I'm not I've looked online and I see a lot of Raider fans that are like, if you think that we have a chance to win this, you're completely you're stupid, you're delusional, you're whatever. I'm not writing the Raiders off. Like, do I think they have a chance to win this? Yes, I do. Do I think they will win it? I hope so. I hope so.
I probably hope so, but probably not. We're just wishful thinking.
But we've seen it. Any given Sunday in the NFL, any team can win. This is what Pete Carroll was brought in here for, is for games like this, to get us pumped up, to get us ready to go. And I think our veterans will get this team ready to go. And I think they want to set the statement, because if you beat the Chiefs this weekend, you're showing that, hey, we have something here and we can build on it. Maybe we don't have it all season. Maybe we aren't a playoff team, but we have something building here and we can go forward. And I don't like, if the Raiders can keep this game close and they lose 27-24, 27-20, and it's like they lose on the fourth quarter, I'm good with that. Like, I want to see competition. I want to see our team compete. And that's what we didn't see in the Colts game, is we just saw our team just get our ass kicked, like just straight at 100% ass whooping. You need to find something that we as Raider fans, we as the Raider Nation can build on and can look at and be like, okay, we were there. We continue doing this. We're going to get there. That's what we want to see. The wins and losses, yes, we want to see wins. And at the end of the day, we want to see wins. But we also need to see something we can build off of and we can be happy about and be like, okay, let's go. Let's go. We're doing this. Pete is getting us in the right situation. So
right. Exactly. I agree 100%. Is kind of what type of performance we put out there on Sunday, for, whether it's a win or a loss. Hopefully it's a win. because now if we go in there and upset, and this is the thing, we have historically, well, at least within the last 3 years, we performed better in Arrowhead. For whatever reason, we can't do it in Vegas, but we can do it in Arrowhead. In enemy territory when it's literally all red, or mostly all red, right? We've had success, and it's crazy. I mean, we go back to that Christmas Day game where the defense literally showed out. We go back to last year with almost winning it in KC. The whole Aiden O'Connell fumble. Literally what was kind of the difference maker, because we were literally poised to go ahead and kick the winning field goal. And it's those type of games that the Chiefs don't play good, right? They don't play up to par. We play great. We disrupt them. We get in their faces. We get in their minds, and they're just not the same team. They're not the same team that you see like in the Super Bowl, like come January. It's not the same team on that field versus the Raiders, right? We just know how to get under that skin, right? But there's still, with Geno here and the way that he's been playing, is that potential just to get ugly. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's that we have a clean game, and it's just hard fought for all 4 quarters for sure. Really quick, appreciate everyone pulling up and tapping in with us on this Saturday morning. If you guys haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button on this channel and on my guy Joe Morley's channel. I got his channel pinned down in the descriptions. What are you guys waiting for? Hit that subscribe button on my guy Joe Morley and hit those likes. Help us get out to the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys tapping in. If you guys really want to go ahead and support the show, go ahead and click that link that's pinned up top on my chat. Go ahead and become a part of the JRB family. It does go ahead and really help to keep the lights on here at Just Raiders. Appreciate you guys rocking with us this Saturday morning. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this. We talked a little bit of it, but keys to victory. What are going to be the keys to victory to go ahead and really pull out the dub on Sunday? For me, I'll go ahead and kind of kick things off for me. Obviously, we got to go ahead and run heavy on Sunday. It's got to be the Ashton Genty show. Got to incorporate Big Mike. I would love to see Jack Bash really being utilized, especially in that red zone situation. Go ahead and utilize Jack Bash, especially with you. If we don't have Brock, it has to be Jack Bash. Hopefully he steps up along with Big Mike. But really kind of keeping Geno, again, within that 10 yards and less, thinking and dunking, maybe get him on his bike and having him run a little bit to go ahead and just kind of keep the defense honest and keep them guessing. Obviously, on the flip side of the ball, D-line got to eat. Max got to continue doing his thing. Lualu, Fotu got to come out. Hopefully Tyree continues to have a pretty good game. Hopefully we can see something from Malcolm Kuntz, something sparks and he gets ignited, and a repeat for Devin White. And hopefully we see Jamal Adams, and that will help out our secondary greatly. Special teams got to continue playing another, clean game. We saw a better game from special teams. Hopefully that continues on. Not give up those big runs on those kickoff returns, and just being able to execute just in general all the way around. So we've seen a little bit of regression from those special teams, but hopefully if we're able to go ahead and pull it off, we can go ahead and come out with a dub. What are your thoughts, Joe, on your keys to victory for us to be able to go ahead and get the win on Sunday?
Yeah, run the ball, eat the clock. Don't turn the ball over and score touchdowns over field goals. Like that's if you continue to kick. If field goals don't win you games, like you got to score touchdowns in the red zone. And just like I said, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline and just take as much time as you can off this clock. I don't care. I want this to be the fastest game I ever watched on TV. I want this to be the fastest Raider game I ever watched and get done with. You could go every drive. Like, I don't care if you have the ball 4 times. You can go 4 times, 10-play drives, 10-minute drives, and score. As long as you score and you score touchdowns, we'll be good. But I think that's the main keys right there is don't turn the ball over, score touchdowns over field goals. Don't settle for that. And And for our defense, get off the field on third down. Get off the field when you need to. And it's that. It sounds simple, right? It sounds simple enough, but we just got to get it going.
Yeah.
Can I answer one comment in there?
Yeah.
Oh, Ninth Island in there. So is that Samoan Raider saying?
Yeah, Samoan. Shout out to our guy Samoan Raider or Fitz or both of them. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing we're eating on Sunday. There you go, my guy.
I just want to answer the one right here where the guy said, "Do you guys want to keep winning 5 to 6 games a year, and then what we're doing is not drafting the best quarterback in the draft and accomplishing the same thing over and over?" That's one thing I don't like giving attention to. I hate the fan that wants to tank. I hate the fan that gets pissed off that our team wins. Like, at the end of the day, you're supposed to win games. And if you win 3 or 4 games, good. But in those 3 or 4 games, can we do something? The last 4 quarterbacks that have been drafted number 1 overall, guess what happened? The next season, their team sucked, and they fired their coach mid-season. Right now, I just looked it up. There's 9 quarterbacks that have been drafted number 1 overall that are starting in the NFL right now. 3 of those quarterbacks aren't playing for the team that drafted them number 1. They moved on. They've done it. 2 of those quarterbacks, one is Bryce Young. He's not winning. The other one is Kyler Murray, who you can have you can pick and choose who you want. So, I mean, my thing is, like, franchise quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and all those other guys, they weren't drafted number 1 overall. You have to pick and choose. You have to do your homework. And I'm a big believer in worry about the offseason in the offseason. If we have to move up, we move up in the draft. If we have to move back in the draft, we move back in the draft. But don't let the offseason dictate what you're doing this season. Don't worry about that crap later. Because if you're going to tank and you're going to go out there and you're going to want hey guys, we want to lose this game. Hey Pete, go out there and lose this game. I don't want you back next season. I want you out of here. If you're willing to lose games just because of draft status, that means you don't have the love of the game for football. You don't have that drive to win. And why would a free agent go, I watched you guys tank last year on purpose. Why would I want to sign with Las Vegas? Nah, I want you to show me that there's something here building, and we go from there. And if we worry about it later on, we worry about the draft status later on, and I don't give a damn if we have to give up multiple first-round picks to get to the number 1 overall pick. I'd rather do that than tank and do that. Yeah. So just me.
That's great take. I'm gonna address this follow-up from Warb. He's saying all your podcasters need to start becoming loud and clear about a QB, more or sellers, offseason, yada yada yada. Okay, I get you, bro. But this is the thing. We've all done that. If you were tapping in, because I know you've been around, you were tapping in with us last season. We were all talking about Shador. We were all talking about Cam Ward. That was literally the hype for like the last 8 months, because we knew at one point, we knew our season was kind of like in the shitter, right? Just to kind of keep it real. It was in the shitter, and we knew where we're looking towards a quarterback. We can sound off and mouth off as much as we want about a quarterback. At the end of the day, we're not the ones making the decision. We can talk about it. We can apply pressure in that way. But at the end of the day, it's guys like Spytech and Pete are making decisions now. They don't want to go ahead and invest and see the vision on drafting a quarterback within the first 3 rounds. There's something we can go ahead and do about it. We got to kind of sit back and fucking take it. If you're a real fan, you got to just put your hands up. All right, cool. Dude. We're going to run with this. Let's see how it goes. We're going to look like the hot dog water again. All right. That Gino, I don't think too much about Gino. Like, yes, great. He's here. We have a more of an established quarterback, somebody who's more his experience, right? Who's actually kind of won a few games. But you also knew he came with 12 interceptions. Just keep it a bean. I put that up. I'm like, he comes with 12 interceptions, so we'll see how he does. But we should still draft a quarterback. We didn't do that. We went into the 6th round drafting Cam Miller, and guess where he's at? He's on the practice squad, and that's where he's going to be riding until they decide otherwise. He's still got AOC eventually. He's going to come back. That's a different story. But either way, Cam Miller's going to be there. That's a whole project in itself. They didn't take that investment to go ahead and put into a quarterback this season, because they went out and traded a draft pick for Geno Smith and gave him a bag. That was their investment, and now it's not working out for them. So are we going to potentially see a quarterback drafted in 2026 and 2027? I hope so. They should draft a quarterback every year within the first 3 rounds until they get their guy. That's literally the formula. There's no other way around it. You got to draft a quarterback until you get your guy. And if it doesn't work out, all right, cool. You part ways and you move on. Sometimes guys don't work out when you draft them high. We've seen that. We could talk. I'm not even going to mention that dude from a long time ago. Starts with the J. Now he's working at high school now. I don't know if he still works at high school. Biggest bust, right? That didn't work out. So necessarily drafting it at the first round isn't going to potentially work out. We hope so with the right development, the right coaching staff. We hope that they become the guy, but there's nothing guaranteed that they will become the guy, right? So it's all at the end of the day an educated guess on whether or not these guys are going to pan out. I just wanted to put that out there. Sorry, getting on my soapbox.
No. You're 100%. The draft, you're not guaranteed anything in the draft. We've seen so many busts. We've seen different things. I think it's funny that I don't know the G Ware guy, but he said real fans protest. It's funny because if you watch my stuff, I am I say my mind, and I'll speak my mind, and I don't give a damn. I'll call people out when I need to. And he said we need to speak our mind, just like when we drafted Ashton Genty. Well, you wouldn't like me then, because I was against the Ashton Genty pick. I didn't want Ashton Genty on this, and now that he's on there, I'll take it. I didn't want Brock Bowers' pick, and because when you're building a team, you're building it. Most great franchises build from where? The trenches, and then go forward after that. When Brock Bowers was taken at number 13 overall, and it's funny to hear Tom Telesco. I don't know if you heard that interview where he goes, even if Michael Penix was there, they still wouldn't have took a quarterback.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, God damn, like what would have took a quarterback that day? But when Brock Bowers was taken, we had our choice of any defensive player. That was the first year that 12 offensive players went in a row, and then 13 when we took Brock Bowers. But we had our pick at any defensive player. There was still Fuaga, I think the offensive lineman that was still on the board, the guy who went to the Saints, I think Fuaga, right? I think Fontua. We could have had him right now. And then when we took Ashton Genty, Mimbu was still on the board, one of the best offensive linemen if we wanted to build there and go from there. So like Raider fans got pissed off at me, and I lost a lot of followers because of the Ashton Genty talk. But my thing was to build the offensive line and get going, because it doesn't matter the playmakers you have if you can't block and you don't have a guy that can throw them to them. And that's my issue going into next season too, is like, can we draft a quarterback? And then if we draft a quarterback, is that quarterback we're going to set him up to get his ass kicked and get sacked 20, 30, 40 times, just like Cam Ward's doing right now, because we don't have an offensive line to go for it. So that's most teams build from the trenches. The Raiders have decided to build from the outside going in, and it's interesting, and we'll go from there. But for people to say us fans or us podcasters need to step up to the organization, like we call out, like we speak our truth. Now there are some people that they'll go back and forth on what they want, and they'll try to please the organization. That's not the type I have, but that's not the type person I am. I will speak what I think, and then you might agree with me, you might not, and that's it. But at the end of the day, we have the same deal, and that we want to win. Now, somebody has said, like, if we all see it as fans, how come the organization doesn't see it? I don't know, because at the end of the day, they're running a different business than we are, and that's what it comes down to. And we don't know what their decisions are. And yes, you should take if you believe in a quarterback, you should get a quarterback first round, because now you get that extra 5th-year contract and all that. It's going to be cheaper for you in the long run. But I don't know why. Like I said, like, people are mad because they're like, well, why did we even trade for Geno? Because if you look in the offseason, Geno Smith was the best option that we had. Sam Darnold wasn't going to work out in Las Vegas. Like, those kind of guys. Geno Smith was the best option we had. Now, the question is, why didn't they draft a quarterback to go along with Geno Smith? That was the biggest question and the biggest decision. Geno Smith, okay, cool. He has shown that he's better than what we had in the past. On paper, he was, and on tape even last year.
Yeah.
But why did they draft somebody to back him up? And that is the real question. If they fell in love with Cam Miller, and I think that was the issue. Is, remember Tom Brady fell in love with Cam Miller, and Tom Brady vouch for Cam Miller. The Raiders played the pre-draft games where they didn't even go and talk to Cam Miller. They were like, we don't want anybody to know that we're interested in this guy because we think he can be something. And then when they brought him into camp, they were like, oh, wait, he is too much of a developmental guy. So then they went out and traded for Kenny Pickett. But only Geno Smith can make AOC sound good right now, right? Like
I know.
Like,
everybody like AOC. Like, when is he coming back? No.
I think they forget how bad AOC was. But, okay, if you want to root for AOC, root for him to come back, and we'll see the same thing.
Yeah. This is the thing that also people forget is like, if AOC was anything relatively good, they would have kept him. They went out and got in Geno. They would have drafted that quarterback and sat that quarterback behind him. That wasn't the case, And then we were there. Did you go to the open practice in August? The open practice they had at Allegiant in August.
I didn't go to the open practice at Allegiant. No, not this year.
Okay, I went to the open practice alongside with my guy Leo and I'll be return shout out to those guys. I saw AOC. He looked terrible, bro. And I that strip sack that tip ball that Max had the other day, a couple games ago, like he got a strip sack fumble on Aidan O'Connell and like ran it back for a touchdown. It was funny, but I'm like, shit, he did it, and now he actually did it in a game where he like got the ball and like ran it and like tried to score a touchdown. It's like that type of play. Went to Phoenix, saw him live, and he just looked terrible, and that's where he got injured, and that's where we're at now. To me, I can go on with AOC about him not being the guy, but the point being is that they invested so much on Geno. They're going to go ahead and see what Geno has. And that's because I was kind of thinking about that early in the morning. I'm like, why haven't they moved on from him? It's because they went out and traded a third-round pick. They gave this dude a bag. So we're in it, for like 45 for this year or whatever that comes out to. And I think we're on the hook for 10 next year. So they want to make sure that they get something from this guy, right? Or they're hoping to go ahead and wait for him to turn around, which we're all like ready to pull out our hair because we're seeing it not happen because we're looking from the fans' perspective, but from their perspective, from the business perspective, because at the end of the day, it's a business for them. They're just wanting to see a return on their investment. And I don't know when they're going to come to that point where it's just like, all right, we just got to go ahead and take the loss and just look at alternatives. I don't think that they're at that point yet. And that's why we're seeing that reluctancy from Pete, from Spite to kind of pull the trigger and sit his ass and put in Kenny Pickett in to see, what he can do. I think it's just that business to fan perspectives that clash all the time, and we don't understand why some of the decisions are made the way they are, right? But those guys are there. They're in that room. They're the ones who know better. I'm going to go ahead and cap it off with this. Let's go ahead and get some score predictions down. And I want to go ahead and get everybody in that chat involved. So I know everybody appreciate everyone tapping in and rocking with us. Go ahead and put down your score predictions for Sunday's game, whether it's a win, loss, it don't matter. It's all good here. We appreciate everything that comes our way. For me, if we go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep my fan hat on. I think we win it on Sunday. It's going to be won by a field goal. For me, it's going to be 20-17 Raiders. It's going to be not a super high-scoring game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle, a very physical game. So I think we pull it off, but I think it's going to be by a field goal, 20-17. I know the spread is like way more than that, but we've had that in the past, and we've outperformed that tenfold. Well, what are your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, I hate this. I want to see us hang in there. I want to see us be able to move the ball and do some stuff. And I don't want to just throw our team under the bus and be like, it's going to be a butt kicking. So you know what? If we can get the running game going, we're gonna hold this game close. And I think that's the main thing. We got to do that. But I'll say 27-17 Chiefs is what. I really want to take the Raiders in this game, but as of right now, they haven't showed us anything to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I just keep it close. Let's keep it close.
Yeah. There you go. My guy Dixon Sider, 44-17 Chiefs. Damn, bro. Shellacking.
Here's what sucks is I'm going to the Raiders facility tomorrow and watching the game there. And
I heard about that. Uh-huh.
Oh my god, if they get their butts kicked, if it's 44-17, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like I'm only like I hate watching the game already, like because I get too frustrated. Like, and that's what people are like, I'll go to the home games and I'll watch, but I get pissed off when they lose and it's a long drive home. But like away games are like, why don't you go live stream for it? I was like, because I don't want to like I'm already pissed off as it is. Like you don't want to see it and tomorrow is like that's why I'm kind of hoping that it's because I have to keep my composure at the Raider facility. Like, or else I'm like, I'll just go trash your lockers there.
Go trash the lockers. Go out into the field. Just fucking yell Raiders, but that fucking Raiders. Yeah, get some frustration now, big dog. Hit those sleds. Hit the sled. Maybe punch the sled. Maybe you'll feel better. For sure. I would be too, bro. I'll be like, I'm taking something on the way out from my pain and suffering. Let me just go ahead and take this little quick memorabilia, you know. I'm just kidding. Raiders invite me. I will go in a heartbeat. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with y'all. But I don't know. Go ahead and hit some scores. My guy Gio said. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why they picked this game as the watch party, but okay, whatever. Like whatever.
Yeah. I think it's just because of the rivalry game. Yeah, my guy GeoMax said 20-19 Raiders. Okay, there you go. Frank Weber, same prediction. 27-17 Raiders. There you go. My guy Marcus Banks, 27-24 Chiefs. There you go. No, 1-3. That's what's up. And my guy Gio says, "Thank God for the Dodgers." Facts, bro. So if the pain is too much for those Dodger fans, if the pain is too much, and we lose on Sunday, and we're just frustrated as hell, just remember, thank God for the Dodgers. They're going to the World Series, playing the winner of the Seattle Mariners or the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll see who comes up. I heard Seattle's the team to watch. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, see. I got Dixon. Thank God for the Dodgers. Facts, brother. Facts. But let me go ahead and move on to our final segment of the show, the spotlight. This is a time we take out of the show to go ahead and highlight and get to know our guests for the show. This week's guest is none other than Joe Morley. I had you back earlier in the year in the off season back in March. Chopped it up with my guy Rundown. Shout out to my guy Rundown. He was here earlier. But we didn't get to do this part. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this thing off. Let me start off with who's on your Raiders Mount Rushmore. You could do players and coaches. Could be mixture of both or however you want it. But who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, if you're doing players and coaches, you got to put John Madden there. And then I'd put Charles Woodson. Me personally, Jim Otto. And then me, like, and then I would put I'd put Tim Brown. That me because that's my childhood. Like Tim Brown, Charles Woodson. Yeah, so that'd be mine. I mean, this Raider organization has so many. Like just to pick four is crazy. Like of all the Hall of Fame we've had go through here, but that me personally, that'd be mine.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's up for sure. I love that. And then you said Jim Otto. My guy Jack subscribed to. Now he's gonna be a bigger even fan because he loves Jim Otto, for sure. But let me go ahead and kind of start from the beginning, and just ask you, how long have you been a Raider fan for? And then what was that moment that kind of made you fall in love with the silver and black?
So I don't know how, like people always ask, like, how do you become a Raider fan? I don't know how. Like I can't go back and pinpoint the day that I became a Raider fan. maybe because I was too young. And everybody in my family, I'm the only Raider fan in my family. Like my uncle and all them are Steeler. Like I grew up mostly Steeler fans, mostly 49er fans. And that's why I make my content, is because I can talk shit to all them. Like that's the main thing. But my first NFL game that I ever been to, and my first Raider game, was at the LA Coliseum. Jeff Hostetler versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, my uncle and all them went in Pittsburgh gear. I went in Raider gear, and it was just. I know I was a fan before that. I just don't know how and why. So I wish I did, but. My actual, like, for me to actually start getting into football, like, yeah, I was rooting for the Raiders, whatever, but I wasn't I was more like a casual fan. But then for me to actually like jump in, and when I actually started becoming like into football and making my own decisions and watching it on my own, is I heard about the NFL draft, and I was like, what? They get to pick their players? And so my first time that I woke up on my own. Like I said, my dad's not a sports guy. My parents aren't sports people. My family, I'm really the only one in my household that does it. And I woke up on one Sunday, or Saturday. It's when they used to do the draft in 2 days. Remember, that Saturday morning and Sunday. Yeah. And I woke up and I go, oh, I heard that the NFL draft starts at 8:00 or whatever, 9:00. So I woke up, I got the chair ready, turned on the TV. I was the only one up in my house, and I'm sitting there watching. And that's the draft that the Raiders took Charles Woodson, and I've got to follow Charles Woodson throughout his whole career. And that's when I started like becoming the hardcore Raider fan, or just following him. And it's weird because Charles Woodson, like I said, was the first Raider player that I got to see drafted. And then now I've been able to meet him and do all that stuff. It's just like, it's weird. Like it's surreal, like just to see what podcasting has been able to open up for you. But a lot of people, and then I get a lot of people online that go, Joe, I never saw you in Oakland. I never saw you this. Well, sorry I didn't tailgate with you. Sorry I didn't go to your tailgate spot. Or sorry I just drove into like I do. Like right now, I don't go to Vegas for 3 or 4 days like some of these people do, and they party all weekend. I don't do that. I leave my house at 5:30, 4:30 in the morning. I get into Vegas by 9:00. I'll walk around the tailgate. I'll do my thing. I'll go to the game, and then I'm drive back, and I'm home by 11:00 at night. Like, it's a whole day. Like, sorry I don't go through everything like that. Sorry I didn't take my flip phone or my pager to Oakland and record myself being there. I have some old photos. Like, if you want to see those, cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't, like I said, I didn't grow up in a football family. I didn't even know tailgating was a thing. Like, I would just show up. We would go in, and we would be like, I was one of those boring people that walked across the bridge, and I went to Raiderville or whatever it's called, because I thought that was the thing. I didn't know until I started getting older, and I'm like, oh, people actually show up and barbecue and have a whole damn good day. So the people that say that, like, oh, I've never seen you in Oakland. Well, okay, that's cool. I never saw you either. So it works both ways. Like, but yeah, I was at I've been to multiple games there. My favorite game that I went to was the Jets playoff game. I didn't get to go to the next week, but the Jets Raider playoff game was probably one of the most memorable games that I've had in my life. And I was sitting up at Mountain Davis with my dad that day. But it was cool. And I didn't get into podcasting. Like, people were like, why didn't you podcast in Oakland? I didn't know podcasting was a thing. I've always talked sports. I've always done that, but like, I didn't know it was that big a thing. And then when COVID hit, right, that's when webcams and like being able to do what we're doing right now, that's when that became a big thing. And this is where I started taking it serious. When COVID hit, I got really, really sick. And I couldn't even have a conversation with you. I couldn't even talk right now. Like, I was like this for like 5 to 6 months. I was barely able to get out a couple words, and the words that I did get out, I was just telling my wife, like, I'm gonna die today, right? Like, I'm gonna die. Like, I was that screwed up, and waking up sore, waking up with just stuff in your chest. Like, I couldn't talk. So my wife looked at me one day and she goes, why don't you just talk into a microphone? Like, you need to figure out something to get your lungs going and basically rehab your lungs. So at that point, I bought a microphone. I started talking, and And like if you go back and listen to some of my original stuff, you could really hear, like, I'm already fat as it is, but you can hear like a lot of the heavy breathing of me just like like Raider fans like, and then you could just hear it in the voice of what I was going. So really, I don't even think if I didn't get sick, if I would be doing this today. The sickness just got me to rehab it, and then just started to open the doors, and people started watching, and I'm like, wait, you're actually watching what I'm saying and you're listening to what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main story behind me. And I've just been able to, like, I don't sugarcoat my opinions. So I used to have a thing that I used to say, like, Joe Morley, my opinion, what's yours? Now it's like, we all have different opinions, and I've never been attacked by the Raider fan base like I have been. Like, it's crazy, like, that people attack our own fan base, because I always say, like, we might not agree on something. We might not agree the same way to build a team or whatever, or what our team's doing, but we all have that one same goal, and we want to see the Raiders win. And that's the main thing I want to see. So I just go out there and have fun. I've been threatened. I've been yelled at. I've been so much in my DMs. I'll take that back. Where I go to the Raider Stadium, love it. So many people come up, and when you tell me, I got opposing fans, I got Raider fans that just thank you for what you're doing and talking. And that's, if you ever watch my show, and same thing with you, like, we don't do the show because just to make money or whatever. I don't know. We come up here to have somewhere where Raider Nation can vent, and where we can vent, and we can just let it out. And we're like, it's like like I always say, it's like an AA meeting for Raider fans. Like, we're just here to, like, tell us in the comments what you want to say, and I'll tell you what we want to say, and we're just venting to get it out and get our frustration out. And that's I think that's the cool thing, because Raiders aren't really talked about unless we're, like, getting our butts kicked. Nobody, like, when you turn on ESPN, they're not talking about us. But they used to talk about the Patriots. They're talking about the Chiefs. Every time somewhere after the game or during the week when the Raiders make something, what are we doing? We're looking for somebody who's talking about our team, and the more people we have about it, the better. And so that's my sorry. I went a little too far, too long.
Oh, that's good, bro. You actually went into one of my other questions, as I was going to ask. Is kind of like, what made you get into the whole content creator space? You know, what kind of challenges did you face and stuff? But you answered it perfectly, brother. So I appreciate you sharing that story. The origin for me, because I'm not asking a question just a bit, but for me, it's like I like to get that origin story, like that superhero. Like, how did you become who you are? And that's my end goal. So you answered it perfectly. But kind of speaking within that line of, like, superheroes and stuff like that, Us was here earlier. I asked him about it. So kind of tell us a little bit about the Raiderverse. What is that? Who's in that? And, like, what are y'all trying to do with that? There you go. And that kind of goes into, like, my whole, like, collab and, like, what we should be looking out for and all that good stuff.
So, yeah, you might hear about it now, and we're just a group of. I like to say that we're just a group of idiots that go to Raider games, have fun. We all make content, and then we all just started hanging out at the games together and seeing each other and be like, hey, because when I started podcasting, I looked up to Simone Raider, and I saw him online, and I was like, oh crap. I looked up to Raider Cody, and now, like, these guys that I'm like, oh, so being able to bounce stuff off, and then you actually see him in person. And so that's basically what we are. We're the Raiderverse. We call ourselves the Raiderverse because we were looking for a name for our group chat, and we were like, okay, we're the Raiderverse. But in the Raiderverse is All In Autumn Win, Brian. If you guys aren't watching him, he's the one going for the Guinness all record right now for most NFL games in a season. His record-breaking or his record-tying game will be the Dallas game in Las Vegas. So that would be the record-tying game. Nice, Mr. Fitz, I don't know if you guys know Mr. Fitz. He's the one that says Raiders, bitch, all the time. Kakui, he used to dress up in Oakland. He doesn't do it as much. We're trying to get him to dress back up. The GOAT, Josh 209, MC Raider, Power Raider, the guy who dresses up as a Power Ranger and he gets a lot of shit for it. Raider Jesse, and of course Simone Raider and myself. But like I said, we're just we're just content creators that hang out, and every time we've gone to an event, we see each other and we just hang out. And so we just made the Raiderverse name, just to go along. Where if you guys see us, you're like, because we went to a couple events and they were like, "Can we take your picture? What do you guys call yourself?" And we're like, "I don't know." And we're like, "What do you mean you call ourselves?" Like, we're Raider fans. And they're like, "No, no."
You're like, I'm Joe.
Yeah. So then somebody threw out Raiderverse and we just went with it, and we've been able to open up doors. So like last week against the Titans, they did a Raiderverse takeover, the Raider Masquerade, which is a tailgate area for the Raider fans. And we're going to do it again for the Jacksonville game. They called us back and asked us if we'll do it again. Now that Raider Masquerade is not for everybody. And if you want, and this is what people don't understand. There's Lot J. There's so many different places to tailgate. You tailgate how you want. You show up as you want. The Raider Masquerade is more for the people that aren't the Vegas crowd, right? You show up, you gamble all night, you roll out of bed, and you're like, I don't want a barbecue. I just want something already done for me, and I want to continue drinking. So if the Raider Masquerade, you basically pay $170. It's all you can eat, all you can drink, all you can drink alcohol too. Like it's just they have the TV set up. You basically just have a great fun time. And I mean, where else for $170 like to get all you can eat, all you can drink? That's pretty damn good in Vegas. So it's just something that we're doing and just trying new things. I like to give options to the Raider fans that don't go to the game, because some of us, like, we don't have the means to go every week. So if you're only going to one game or two games a season, I want to show you the different things that the Raider fans can show you. So I'll show you the Masquerade. I'll show you the Modelo tailgate. On the 17th in November, we're doing one it's called Shorty's Tailgate in Lot W, which is a big one. Like Lot J is like where the old Raider fans, like the Oakland feel, is what they consider Lot J to be. Yeah. So I like to show people the difference, or be able to, if you hit me up in the DMs, because I talk to a lot of people in the DMs and they're like, I can't believe you answer my DMs. I'm like, why not? Like, I'm a normal person, a normal fan, just like you. Like, there's nothing special about me. I just talk in front of a camera, and so that's the cool thing is, and being able to talk to people and just getting the different opinions, and that's my whole thing, is just show you the different atmosphere of what the Raiders can provide you on it. And the biggest thing I get is like, why do you waste your money on this team if we suck every year? Because going to a game is an experience, and the experience like no other. When you walk into Allegiant Stadium and you look at the field and you see the stuff, like I got to go on the field for the first time last week, and holy crap, like going on the field before the game and just looking up in the stands and seeing how big the stadium is like it is unbelievable. Like it's great. It's great. But the Raiderverse, we're just a bunch of idiots just having fun. And if it goes somewhere, and people always like, I don't know if you have experienced it yet on some of the places that you go, and I'm sure it will come, but my first season doing it, and I walked into the Raider tailgate, and people were like, "That's Joe Morley," and I'm like, I got overwhelmed, like really overwhelmed, and it got to me where people were like, I wanted to take pictures with me, they want to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm not used to that, like, so I had to take like a month off, like my first time, and I was like, I'm not going to any more games, I have to stop, like it's too much for me. And I debated if I wanted to continue doing it. Now it's like normal, and so everybody's looking for the same 7 of us, so we're always hanging together, so we might as well just hang together and take pictures together and talk to people. And so that's basically what it is. Like, I don't think, like, people are like, I don't, like, we're really nice guys, like we're really approachable, we're willing to do anything with people to, and that's what it is. Like, if you, like, people call us and be like, can we do a video with you? Yes, come on over. Like, we're here to have fun with the Raider Nation, and why not be able to do it together? That's I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly or getting out.
I get you. Well, maybe it's because we're on the same side of the spectrum. I get what you're saying. It's just like, at the end of the day, like I always say, I'm just a Raider fan. I never think myself more or less anything aside from that. You know, I'm not trying to be Rich Eisen. You know, I love Rich Eisen, and I try to emulate a little bit of that style. But at the end of the day, I'm just a fan expressing my opinion on video, on YouTube. That's it. And like I had that. I had a little bit. I'm not at your level yet, but I had that happen on the home opener. We met up, and when I'm walking through J Lot, I have people. I ran into a couple of people, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's up?" I had like my guy D Menace. Shout out to my guy D Menace. He tapped me on the shoulder. I was like, "What's up, brother?" Like, it's all love at the end of the day, because I'm just a fan, just like you, everybody out here, everybody in the chat. No better, no better. We're on the same level. I just get up on the mic and I just get up on my soapbox and talk my shit. That's all I do. But yeah, I definitely get you 100%. So if you guys see us out there, say what's up, man. I'm always looking for it. I'm gonna be out there in Vegas for that Jaguar game. I don't know if you're gonna be out there, Joe, but I'm gonna be out there for that game. I might have to go ahead and take a wander at that masquerade because it kind of sounds pretty cool. So,
Are you going by yourself, or are you with somebody?
I'm taking the fam. But I'm not. I'm going to the game by myself, but the fam will be with me because it's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday that Saturday, so the day before. So we're gonna be out there in Vegas, just doing it, not partying like wild crazy, but we're doing the family style. Probably hit up like Atomic Golf, kind of that kind of type of thing, because I got the kids and whatnot. So we can show. And then that thing for us is like we got to kind of be out there for the weekend because we live far. We live that close. We live in Albuquerque. We're Albuquerque, New Mexico. So this for us is 8-hour drive. So it's not that quick for us to get home. So we're making the weekend out of it. So we'll be up over there for sure. But
yeah, and the Raider fans that talk about they're tired of our stadium being taken over by other fans. Show up. Like, that's all I can say. I'm not saying show up every week, but when you can, if you have the means to do it, show up. Don't talk about it, be about it. And that it sucks. Like, I don't know why the Raiders and last thing, because I know we've been on here forever, but last thing, like a lot of people say the Raiders need to lower the ticket prices. It's not the Raiders that are gouging us. It's the third party and our own season ticket holders that are gouging us. Like, if you look, front row seats at Allegiant Stadium are only $270 price, like face value, right? But then you look online, it's $1,000 to $1,500. Where that's not the Raiders. The Raiders sold it for $270. It's everybody else that's making the money off of us. So when you want to get pissed off about ticket prices, it's the third party, the ticket masters, or it's the season ticket holders that are making the money. So just throwing it out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's if you guys, I don't know if anybody in the chat was at the home opener, but we blacked it out. It was blacked out. Nation showed up, and that's the thing. And I know. I got that comment because they lose. Okay, yeah, I get that too, and that also falls on the season ticket holders that to resell their tickets to the opposing team. So you have that. If you want to go ahead and change the narrative on that, you got to go to the games. Like for me, I already had handpicked this game months ago. I was going to the game nonetheless. I had to get it okay and plan it with the family. That was the only thing. But this game was always unlocked for me. So whether the season was going great or the season's in the shitter, I was going to the game because at the end of the day, I'm a Raider fan. I'm going to go out and support my team. I'm going to watch my team, even if they look like fucking dog shit. I've already been in this. I've already been a fan for 30 years. I don't want to go anywhere else. So what the fuck am I going to do? I'm going to convert to a Niner fan? No, sister. I'm not doing it. I don't give a damn. It's not going to happen. See, my influence is far-reaching because now I talked to my sister last night. She's a Niners fan. My godson, which is her son, and my niece, both told their mother they want to be Raider fans. Win one for Uncle. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. My kids are Raider fans. The nieces and the nephews are following suit. The Raider universe is ever expanding. The Raider Nation is ever expanding. So I think I'm doing something a little bit right. So, hey, man. But I appreciate you pulling up and rocking with me and tapping in and chopping up with me on this Saturday morning, man. I always appreciate it. I know your time is tight. I know you have a lot of things going on. So I really do appreciate you, pulling up and rocking with me, whenever the chance you get, man. And for sure, If you're gonna be out there for that Jaguar game, let me know, brother. We'll go. We have to link up
Yeah.
and chop it up for sure, man. But
I got you. I'll hit you up about that.
yes, sir, for sure. But that is our time for today. I appreciate everyone who pulled up and was able to go ahead and be part of this show. If you guys haven't done so already, again, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on this channel. On my guy Joe Morley, we got a couple of subscribers. My guy Jack subscribed. I think my guy Dixon. Shout out to Dixon. Both of the guys are my mods here at Just Raiders. So appreciate you guys going ahead and going over and subscribing to Joe's channel. You got a fire content coming from there. Also, you're doing some shows with Samoan as well, right? You guys done a couple of shows here and there, right?
Yeah, we're trying to get more consistent with it and go from there. And I think we bounce off each other pretty well. So yeah, we'll be doing a live stream after the game. I think on his channel. He just hit me up about it. So live from Las Vegas after the game. So
there you go.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, just hit me up whenever you guys see me. Sometimes I look busy or whatever, but I'm always willing to do as much as I can. It's all about the Raider Nation. That's all it's about, right? So it's having fun and doing it.
Exactly. That's all it's all about. So make sure you guys go ahead and tap in to my guy Joe, to my guy the Samoan Raider. Shout out to the Oos. He was here a couple of weeks ago. Appreciate him pulling up and chopping up with us at Good Morning Raiders. Salute to him. So make sure you guys go ahead and catch him on their post-game show right after the game in Las Vegas. Make sure you guys also pull up for my show, my post-game reaction show. That's going to be 1 hour after the game is over. Get some time to go ahead and settle in and get everything going, get my mind right, whether it's celebrating or whether it's trying to go ahead and brush off this win. Make sure you guys pull up, and you guys will get my raw takes. You already know what time it is. I give it to you raw and unfiltered as usual. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for that one tomorrow, 1 hour after the game, post-game reaction show here at Just Raiders. Appreciate everyone who's tapped in with us. And make sure you guys go ahead and pull up next Saturday for another Good Morning Raiders. I got my guy, Raider Primos. He's going to be in the building. We're going to be chopping it up. So one of the up-and-comer podcasters in this space. So salute to him. He's going to be one of my guests here at Good Morning Raiders. So appreciate him. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for that one. Other than that, y'all, that is it for today. Appreciate, love everyone. Salute to everyone. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully with the win. As always, y'all, Just Raiders, baby. Go Raiders. We'll see y'all next time. Peace. Protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing? My guy, Lunatic Raider, Raider Legion. What is good?
We on? Oh, hey!
We on. None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Brain Aubrey, bring out none other than the notorious Headshot.